Okay, this is my first official YouTube video. I'm so excited. My brother helped me set up all my gear today. I'm going to start with an in and out video. I'm actually probably going to separate it into two videos just because I feel like I have a lot to say on the topic. This has been super fun for me to look and see what is in for the year for me and what is out. I've listened to a lot of other people's ins and outs videos as I've been thinking about what I want my own to be for the year. And I feel like I have a really comprehensive list at this point that I'm super excited to share. So without further ado, let's get started. I will say these are my outs just for me personally. This is not me saying like this is out for everybody, but this is just what I think I want my year to look like. Also, I was thinking, talking about all the things that I think are out could probably come across kind of negative, and I don't want it to be negative because I think this is actually really fun and really positive, and that good change is a good thing. My first out, I took notes and wrote them all down as I've been thinking about them for the past couple of weeks. So my first one is not documenting things in photos and videos. This is something that I have not done good at for probably the past 3 or 4 years. In 2020, I got rid of literally all social media, and I didn't realize how much of my documenting process happened because I was posting on stories or I was posting in my feed. I want to get better at that this year and start documenting more of just my day-to-day life as well as special things in photo and video, because I feel like I've missed out on some of those like special moments over the past couple of years not having social media to motivate me to do that, which is sad that I need social media to motivate me to do that, but I want to do it just for me this time around. Next is being negative for no reason, and this one is kind of obvious, but I feel like it's kind of a trap that I myself can fall into, of randomly being negative about my surroundings or about an experience. So I want to move into the next year with an attitude of gratitude. Okay, it's the next day and I have two things I want to say regarding to what I was talking about yesterday that I feel like could help me explain better what I was trying to say. On the topic of being a hater for no reason, I saw this last night and I was like, that is the perfect example. Campbell and Jet, that couple who he always says, Pookie, your outfit is fire. Their comment section is crazy, and the hate that these people are getting, whether people think they're disingenuous or they think they're materialistic or whatever, the hate is really wild. And I thought a lot of these people are really just hating for no reason. Like, these people are not posting controversial content at all. Like, it's pretty much just them doing like an outfit check with each other, and he's like very gushy and complimentary. I just can't stand how people are hating on them for absolutely no reason. And that is kind of what I meant. Next is being accessible to everyone at all times. This one I've been thinking about for a really long time, and I've kind of talked about it a lot with one of my friends. We both think it's so interesting how phones and the way social media and all those things are, people's lives are accessible to you all the time. What they're doing is always accessible to you, and then they're personally always accessible to you. You call or text, people expect a response right away, and that is out this year for me. I don't want to be accessible to people at all times. I also don't want to apologize for not responding immediately. I want that immediate response pressure to go away, and I want to be able to respond when it's right for me, but I don't want to have to be like, sorry, I didn't respond, like I was cooking for my family, or sorry, I didn't respond, I was in the shower. Like, back in the day, people weren't accessible to people at all times. Like, you had to write people a letter to tell them something, or you had to call and maybe get them if they were at home. But now we have our phones on us at all times, and so it's really easy for people to get a hold of us anytime they want to, whether we're spending time with a friend or family, or we're doing something important for work. We constantly have this stream of contact with other people. And so I think I want to personally try to keep that at bay this next year. And while of course it's fine if people reach out, I don't want to feel guilty for not responding immediately, because it's really not natural to be accessible to all people at all times. Impulse shopping is out for me this year. I'm not a horrible impulse shopper, but if something is like around $20, honestly below $40, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like it'll make my life easier. Sure, I'll buy it. I really want to cut out impulse shopping this year. This first month of the year, I've been really strict on the budget, and I've realized how much money I was throwing away on impulse shopping or going into Target and being like, I kind of like that, and buying it. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to make really meaningful purchases. I want to make planned out purchases. I want to become more disciplined with my finances. I think that is a spiritual discipline, and to honor what God has given you and to steward it wisely. And I think that's something I've been probably a little frivolous with. So impulse shopping, buying, frivolous spending is out for me this year. Next is not saying what you mean. This one is really hard for me. I think for many years I struggled with being somewhat of a people pleaser and wanting to make those around me happy and not wanting to become uncomfortable or make other people uncomfortable. I got in the trap of saying things that I don't necessarily mean, and also not saying things that I do mean for fear of it becoming awkward or weird or whatever. This is something I say all the time that sometimes I mean, but sometimes I don't mean. I feel like when I'm in a conversation with someone that I don't know super well and the conversation seems not to be going anywhere, I will just say, let's get together soon. I don't know why that is my panic go-to, but it is. And sometimes I definitely do mean it. And I wouldn't, of course, like mind getting together, but I want to stop using that as a filler to avoid uncomfortable silence. I want to become better this year at just existing in silence with people maybe I don't know super well. This happens probably mostly at work for me, like being maybe I'm just like with someone in a conference room and I don't know them, so I just start like nervous chattering to fill the silence, or if I'm riding in the car with someone and I try to avoid the empty space without talking, and I just want to become more comfortable with silence. And you know what? If they don't want to fill the silence, I don't necessarily need to either. So becoming more comfortable with silence and only saying things I mean. And that's also applicable in another way. A lot of times I think really nice things. And I saw this girl the other day, she made a reel that her rule for life is that if she thinks a nice thought about someone, she always says it. And I want to make that a rule for myself as well, because there are so many times that I think nice things about people, like how they presented or their outfit or their smile, or I think their family is beautiful or something like that. And I don't say anything because I don't know, if it comes across weird or whatever. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to say the things that I truly think, I truly believe in. And it also makes me think, how good do I feel when someone shares something like that with me that they truly mean? It always makes me feel amazing. I never think it's weird. I want to be more intentional with my speech. I want to say good things that I think. I don't want to say things that I don't mean, and I don't want to be uncomfortable with silence. This has been so relevant on my mind for pretty much since TikTok got super big, is the mob mentality for like fashion and just trending items. I saw this TikTok where this girl said, "Hey fashion girlies, what sneakers are we wearing this spring?" That is exactly what I want to be out for myself this year. I got kind of caught up in looking at the comments being like, yeah, okay, what sneakers are we wearing? But then it becomes like this group think of fashion, and there was like 300,000 people who had liked the reel. And I think that's out for me this year of just being like, yeah, what sneakers are we all wearing? I want to look on websites for myself, like not go directly through influencers and being like, I'm just buying whatever they're buying. Like I want to shop for myself and try to bring out like that creativity again, instead of just being like, what's everybody else wearing? Okay, that's what I'm wearing too. Another example would be the Stanley Cup. Like everyone has a Stanley Cup. Not everyone, but if you're female between 12 and 60, you probably have a Stanley Cup. It's so wild how that craze happened and how the whole, I don't know if the whole world, but the whole US is drinking out of this one cup. And I do think it's a great cup. I also have Stanley cups. It'd be so cool to sustain other brands in small stores and not just always be worried about getting these overly trendy items that now everybody has. And I also think it is easy to get caught up in that whole fashion mob mentality or Amazon purchase mentality. Like, everyone's buying these shoes, everyone's buying this drink cup, like jumping on the bandwagon. I don't want to do things to go along with the mob. I want to maintain my individuality and not allow the social media mob mentality to tell me how I should dress. Essentially, I think mob mentality is out for me in regards to fashion. I don't want to be a part of buying things just because it's what everybody's buying or because it's super trendy right now. I do think trends are fun, but I think it's gotten a little bit out of hand to the point that everybody's wearing the same shoes, everyone's drinking out of the same cups. It's a little boring in my opinion. And so I want to intentionally separate myself from that and be true to my own unique style, maybe take some time to like revisit what my own unique style is before I was over inundated with what the style of the whole world is through social media, and come back to what I truly love to wear and use. Next is waiting out of fear. This is something that has been a huge part of my life, being hesitant to do things because I'm afraid of failing or being afraid of what people would say. And I think waiting is sometimes really good if you're waiting to really think about something and really pray about it. There's definitely a place in life for waiting. I don't want to wait because of fear anymore. I want to be brave. I want to have courage. I want to do the things I really want to do and feel pulled to do. And I don't want fear to hold me back and keep me in a season of waiting. And along with that, I've realized that usually when I finally do end up doing the thing that I was so scared to do, I only regret not doing it sooner. I don't want to be guilty of that anymore. Like, I would rather take too many risks at this point in my life than not enough and be sitting back wishing I would have done things. Lastly is doing things I don't want to do. And this kind of goes along with like a people pleaser mentality that I have slowly shed over the past few years. And I encountered this the other day when I had a dentist appointment scheduled at an inconvenient time. You know how you schedule dentist appointments like months in advance. This dentist appointment was scheduled at a bad time. I didn't want to go, and the only reason I was going to go was so I didn't have to call them and tell them I needed to reschedule, which of course there's no reason to become a monster or a jerk and just inconvenience people and be selfish. But I think there is a certain line in evaluating, do I really want to do this? If the answer is no, then the next question is, do I need to do this now? If it's yes, then okay, yes, you come back to, I do need to do this. But if it's, do I want to do this? No. Do I need to do this? No. Am I just doing this to please other people and not to become uncomfortable? Yes. Okay. That is what I'm talking about. Those are the things that I am scrapping in my life in 2024. I want to do the things that I really want to do, that I really feel passionate about doing. I want to go with my gut more. I want to be really intentional. Like I was saying earlier about my words, I want to be really intentional with my time in 2024. I think that probably comes with getting older. That was my last out for 2024. I'm sure I'll probably come up with more because it's just been so fun to think about this and to think about how to improve my life in these ways. And I'm super excited to make my ins video. I feel like it's kind of funny because like if you make an out, there's automatically an in that goes along with it. So it was kind of ins and outs, but it was more so focused on like the negative things that I want to remove from my life going forward. So thanks for watching. I hope you'll watch my next video. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe and support my channel.